Peoples of the universe, please attend carefully. The message that follows is vital to the future of you all.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Oh, well, look at it. I'm a little bit skew with. Wait, let me just fix that. There you go. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Good evening, good morning. How is everybody? I hope you're all well. I am well, too. I am spiffy. I am indeed quite splendid to talk to you on this fine evening or morning or afternoon, depending where you are in the world. Even though I just said that. What is going on? There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in the old brain box tonight, let me tell you. But we are going to have an evening of Jodie. Oh, yes. We are going to have an evening of Jodie. It's a countdown to the Jodie of all Jodies. And I'm putting out a lot of content right now. Right? There's a lot going out right now because it's over. It's like it's over. No one's going to give a shit. In 3 weeks, she'll be gone, scrubbed, forgotten. Here's how I know. Firstly, how concerned are you about Tylenol Victorious? Right, who gives a shit? It's in the past. That's exactly where it's going to be. Right, who gives a shit? It's gone. Right. Secondly, most people want it to go. Right, the BBC want it gone. Is being scrubbed off November 10th from Doctor Who magazine. Nowhere, nothing to do with that shit. Rusty Davies, classic Doctor Who, diamond logo. Right, it's gone beyond. Like anybody who has a Doctor Who license wants to rip that logo off. As far as human people, like no. And I think the spine logo is like the McGann or Pertwee font, right? That sort of thing. I think. Now, will that be the same logo for shooting? I'm guessing not. Unless they want to really, lean into classic. Which I'm intrigued. I have no idea where Rusty Davies is going. Right, I really have no idea. I'm very excited to find out. Right. I think I put something together though, right? People are worried about the climate change thing. It's all about climate change and like, so it's something very important we talk about, right? And I think everybody missed what he was actually saying. He was saying he wants to make it as relevant and speak in the voice of the audience, which is younger, right? Which skews younger, right? And the more you have that, bring that younger talent. This is all about bringing younger talent in and creating a new generation of writers. So this is essentially what's going on is this. It's like, the end of Dark Knight. It's like the end of Dark Knight, the comic, not the movie. Batman has a fateful encounter with Superman, who's now like the government puppet. And it's the most awesome scene ever. Right? It is literally the most awesome scene ever. He says, I'll meet you on Crime Alley. That's where he's wearing the battle suit that you saw in Batman v Superman, which I thought looked very cool. Right, it came from like very industrialized, right, and it was hooked into the power grid, and like the Batmobile was a tank. It came from there as well. But the coolest thing was Green Arrow had one arm and a grudge against Superman, right? So for like a mile away, Superman swoops down after going through a bunch of things. A kryptonite arrow fires from Green Arrow, who's hanging upside down on a fire escape, pulling the kryptonite arrow back with his teeth. It's freaking awesome, right? It is awesome beyond awesome. And then Batman starts pummeling Superman to death, like, and Batman's won. And just before he kills him, he has a heart attack and dies, right? But then in like a epilogue, turns out he wasn't dead at all. It was a thing. It was a put up so he could vanish. Right? He wanted to go and live under Gotham Manor in the Batcaves with and raise a new generation of superheroes. And that's where they should have ended it, because where they started again, Frank, wasn't good. Let's be frank. Right? They should have had the new generation of heroes with him being very old or nearly dead, right? Or dead, right? and they wanted to continue that universe. That's exactly what what they should have done. Anyway, what was I talking about that for? Batman. Dark. Oh yeah, so that's essentially how's that tied to Russell T Davies? Well, let me think. I had an analogy there, but I completely lost it. What was that? He wants to speak very much in the language of the youth, right? He's like Batman at the end of Dark Knight, right? Who's raising the next generation of superheroes. That's basically how Russell T Davies views Doctor Who. There needs to be good talent, and I think he's seen the lack of good talent, right? I honestly, look, I'm a big softie, mate, right? I like to see a redemption arc for everybody. I hope anybody who worked on the Jodie era gets another shot, because I don't think it was really fair, right? I think Vinny Patel was a bit of a dick on Twitter, but they all are. But Pete Mateague, I think, deserves another shot. But yeah, so here's what I put together. He says he wants to scare the shit out of them, right? that was the quote. He wants to scare them, right? And he says he wants to talk about climate change because it's like a genuine fear of the audience, right? So I think that's something that's got to do with it. They're saying it's going to be some terrifyingly real future, maybe, right? I reckon that's and you got to fight it, right? I think that's going to be the underlying vibe of the season. Do I like that? It depends what the terrifying future is. If it's like Margaret Thatcher has taken over. I mean, come on, stop! Don't, Russell, don't. I imagine it'll be good, though, right? I imagine it'll be good. That's my guess. That is my guess. I think it's going to be good. But yeah, that's me, ever the optimist. So yeah, we got that to talk about. We're going to go through the best Jodie we got. I want to go through the news. There's just so much content because I got to get it out because it's over. It's over. Next week, I had an interview by Mandip and an interview by John Bishop, right? And if I put them out next week, it's going to be dead material, right? I'm out of time, right? I got too much I'm putting out, but it's over. That's really the point I wanted to make. It's over. If I only watch it peripherally, like once we'll look at it maybe tonight. That Doctor Who Twitter has gone nuts, right? Just like they're all crazy. They're screaming, and it's not just the Jodie weirdos. It's the Jodie weirdos adjacent, right? They're all like running around with their heads cut off. It's like. And they don't. It's like pigs at an abattoir who sense there's something wrong. It's that and they are really freaking out on Twitter. Just ignore it. Why are you all engaging? Right? Why? Like for what? They're having a nervous breakdown. Why are they having a nervous breakdown? Because something's out of their control, and they can't deal. Right? It's out of their control. And that's basically what it is. That's why participation trophies were awful. Right? That's why letting shitty behavior go is a bad idea. If a kid comes into kindergarten and throws his coat and bag down and doesn't put it on the little hook like they're supposed to, and the mother goes behind him, picks it up and picks the coat up and picks the bag up and puts it back for him, then you're going to end up with these adults that can't deal. Right? They can't deal with not being in control. Things not Jodie failed. It's just the reality. Jodie genuinely failed. Right? And they can't deal, and it's coming to an end. Right? And there's just screeching, and I think that's really what it is. But I mean, I'm looking at it like, a little bit one step beyond. If anyone engages, I'll say, look, whatever, dude. Whatever you have to say, dude, you're all cool, baby. They're all nuts, right? They're all nuts, right? It's going to be over. It's nearly over. We're nearly at the point where we can laugh, right? Like, they're on Crowds Day, they're making concentration camp, dog concentration camp jokes. Got rid of. But like, like doggy names of concentration camps, it was terrible. I'm that far removed I can laugh. And I think it's going to be so quick we're going to be that far removed because, as I said, nobody really likes it. We all just pretended. Come on. Okay, nobody wants to have egg on their head. Fine. Yeah, best as ever. Let's forget it. Move on. Okay. Shit. We all know it was shit. He's like, come on. Look at your bestest episodes were piles of shit. I you always had the drag factor of Jodie Whittaker, who played it like a buffoon. Like, it's just ridiculous. And then Chris Chibnall was shit. He can't write characters. He can't write plot. Their plot is just stupid. Oh my god. The only way you get away with it is he plugs so much in it, your brain overloads. That's what he did with Flux. And by jiggery, it worked. And also, a few good ideas are in there. The production design, I've liked, right? I thought the production design, I liked the Cybermen. The Chibnall Cybermen, I'm happy to see move on, right? They were great, right? I even like Calvinista. I have to tell you, and I'm embarrassed that I do, but I do. I like dogs. I did something like, oh, that's cute. I thought the guy playing it was good. I thought the villain, what's his name? Storm. Remember we all thought that was an acronym? We thought it was really cool. Oh, maybe Chibnall's doing something. No. Never assume he's doing anything like, ooh, but it's a very different generation. That could mean, it's at a bus stop, or it could mean she regenerates into a basket of ham, right? We don't like it. Okay. In the minds of the insane, everything makes sense, right? In the minds of the insane, everything, which that brings me to my local moral quandary. Not my moral quandary, a question, a good question, right? And it's born from my local life, but I think it's a good question, and it has more global implications. So here's the question, right? We just had this holiday, Simchat Torah. It's a day where it's just kind of like a party. It's like this weird religiously ordained party, right? You partying is built into the prayer services. You're supposed to joyously dance in the prayer services, right? So you take the big Torah scrolls, the Old Testament scroll, right, which are all like wrapped up, and you dance, Jewy dance, Jewy dance, right? They go around the thing where you do that 7 times. With different songs, and it goes on forever, right? So in recent years, there was a thing called the women's HaGeffen. It's called a HaGeffen. It's called the women's HaGeffen. Oh, you have a woman's HaGeffen, my lord. The women's HaGeffen, which is normally it was verboten for the ladies to do that, and it was like there's all these laws about having it sealed off and not saying, and I was really against it, right? I was really super duper against it. And I think I was really super duper wrong, right? I really was. I was being a real dick about it, but what can you do? Look, you live, you grow. you can't be right all the time, all your life, right? Although, okay. So there was something else going on. There was like another force in the neighborhood. I thought, I look at it now and go, never. They were really very obviously grievously damaged in a way that was completely obscene, right? And how they reacted was a clear reaction against that. But you need some space to be able to see it. They were one of their kids was a victim of, thank God, not sexual abuse, but like this awful verbal abuse. There's like this absolutely despicable public loud verbal abuse over. It was basically there was a building that the one Orthodox set thought they deserved, and it was allotted to another like more nationalistic religious sect based in a both. So anyway, you had this situation. You have like 6 foot big man with a beard, with the whole Jewy look, screaming at like a 6-year-old, a sweet little 6-year-old. You're a whore! Ah! And it was like it was terrible, right? It was really terrible, and I can and I think it was the failure of support that they felt made them like somewhat question mark. I also think resentful of ritualistic Judaism, right? And ritualistic Judaism is man, I believe rituals are very important, but I believe rituals are a means to an end, right? I think most people who are very into the ritualistic Judaism find them an ends in themselves, which I think why people who aren't into that ritualistic Judaism find them somewhat empty, because normally the practitioners of them are, right? It's like, if somebody's reacting, they normally have a fair point, right? They normally have a fair point. Anyway, so that that person was a false, I would say, a negative force, and because I think they were screwed over, right? But they were talking people out of ritualistic Judaism. I don't think they were doing it altruistically, and I think they believed they were, right? And look, okay, my general thoughts on it is just also tragedy, because that person is clearly, this wonderful person, like a wonderful person with this incredible strength and ability and power, right? And it just got corrupted by corruption, right? I think, and it's went off in a direction. I don't think they're religious anymore. And look, everyone's life is their own. It's not for me to like look down and judge. I just think, like the Fifth Doctor said, there should have been another way, right? It should have gone down another way, and I think they were screwed over. Anyway, I digress. So I was really against these women's couple, right? I was like, no, and I think I was wrong. But anyway, so we sort of had a detente with them, but we didn't do them this year, right? It was the first year back, and I was like, I don't know. It's just I feel bad. I feel bad. It used to be, I've said this before. Like my synagogue was, everybody would be felt happy and welcome there. It's not. I'm not saying it's bad now, right? If it did get broken apart, but there's several people worked hard to put it back together, and it's been put back together. But it's just a normal synagogue now, right? It's not. I think before it was genuinely special. Right, and I don't think we're ever going to get back to that anyway. But because it was generally special, and it served a very diverse space, I think we were able to do that. Have the women's dancing thing. So, so here's a question though. This is what it led me thinking to, right? By the way, what really led me thinking to it was one of the people who were really into it. They gave a short class, right? My wife said, I would have hated everything. I'm like, really? Right? Really? And she's like, so tell me what they said. And I agreed with everything. Right? So I don't know. But here's the question, right? In terms of Judaism and feminism, right? Because I think all peoples are intrinsically equal. I mean, bullshit aside, all peoples are intrinsically equal, right? I mean, that's the only logical thing, right? I think depending on who you are in life, you need different things to reach perfection, right? And there are generalities that gather around gender, race to a certain extent. There are generalities, right, that are not hard and fast, right? But Jews are basically Jewy, okay? It's like, it's like on Survivor, you always tell who's the Jewy one, right? So like, oh look, that's a Jewy one, and in the years there's a various level of Jewiness in Survivor. Anyway, I digress. The question is this, right? As I said about that, the person's point was the more involvement, the more meaningful something is, and I completely agree. Right, I'm really up for that. I really completely agree. But the question is this: what parts of ritualistic Judaism are a genuine expression of the desire of God? Right, because God, again, you got to go from the basic premise that God is likes you. God likes you, loves you, and wants you to have a good existence, a good life. Right. That's what God wants, right? Which often means you have to be able to take on responsibility, which gives you ultimate pleasure, right? I've said this before. Yeah, for most human beings, the path to happiness is the boring Old Testament marriage, fidelity, parenting. The boring, shitty stuff gives your life the most meaning, right? The constantness absolutely does. I'm on like the other side of it now, and I'm like not a kid anymore. And absolutely, the stuff that gives you the most meaning is the boring, shittiest stuff. So don't poo-poo the boring, shitty stuff. You can take the piss out of it as you do it, which is how I get through it. But anyway, that's just me for you. Anyway. So anyway, I'll say, the question's this, right? What part of ritual Judaism is a genuine expression of the desire of God, so women can maximize themselves to where they get an ultimate happiness, ultimate connection, like what part of that is genuine, what part of it is real, and what part of it, I'm not even going to say disingenuous, but what part of it is from an archaic worldview with a mainly masculine bent, right? Have that filter have the will of God filtered through that, right? And I don't know where to start with the question, but it's an interesting question, right? So, for me, I will say one of the fundamental things is women giving testimony in Judaism, which is, they found loopholes in pertinent cases to allow women to do that. But still, it's genuinely there's not there's not so much room to move. Now, is that an expression of the desire of God? Or is that expression of the desire of God as filtered through an archaic worldview with a mainly masculine bent? I don't know the answer to that. I really don't. I'll be fascinated to find out, right? But I would say anybody who's in more feminist who likes to be religious, that is the question, right? That is absolutely the question to delve into, right? And maybe it is. But it got me thinking, right? Don't never get me thinking. That gets me on a diatribe. Speaking of diatribes, we're going to have to get to Jodie soon. Let me get to the chat first. Get me pull up some of my candy. What we got here? Jodie's crazy. There's so much crazy. Let me pull this up. Man, there's just so much content. It's crazy. Hang on, just remember this. There you go. Share screen. Dun, 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 dun. Share screen. Dun, 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 dun. Indestructible Captain Scarlet. Dun, 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 dun. Captain Scarlet's an indestructible. You are not. Remember this and do not try to emulate him. This is going to be Saturday night, a bit of Saturday night boogie. We're going to have tours the night before Jodie. This goes on for about an hour. This is a good video. Jodie Whittaker reflects on being the worst person in the history of humanity to do the job playing Doctor Who. She kind of is. She kind of is. Has anybody ever in the history of our species ever done any worse? No. No. So this is going out at 5:30 on Saturday, towards the night before Jodie. Here we go. I'm going to say a fuckty bye-bye to Jodie night. Oh man, I got so much stuff to go over. There's so much fuckty bye-bye stuff to do for Jodie, right? After I get to the chat, we'll get to the news, which is awfully funny. Tom Baker, of course, always gets a line. Maybe be the first to say, fuck off, Jodie. You were awful. Icky thump. What an honor. Finished listening to this. One story was very good. One was a bit weird. One was a bit meandering, and the other one was just chaotically weird. It's over, right? It's over. Thank God. We thought we were owning toxic male patriarchal incels, but really we were just exposing our own mental ill health brought on by how miserable and lonely our empty lives are. Yes, I'm afraid that's the case, right? I'm afraid that's the case. This one dropped today. This was from, was it 2 days ago, I think? What day is it? It's Thursday today. I'm so thrown off, man. I am so thrown off by the Jewish holidays, man. It was too confusing. So this was for the Jodie Whittaker interview I did from the Big Issue a couple of days ago. It's insane. It's insane. This I put out, I think, yesterday. Deep inside the confused mind of disastrous Doctor showrunner Chris Chibnall. This one I put out. I think this was from a live stream, right? We went over another Chris Chibnall interview. Oh, Chrissy, baby, Chrissy. It just, I'm sorry, how much you, mate. Bracing for impact. This is tomorrow's video. Doctor Who magazine in-depth preview of the end of this epically hated turgid era. We're not 100% confident. Funny thing is you are, right? Funny thing is you are. And also this just came out, Westworld. That's going to come out tomorrow, I think, or the day after. Loving it now, but now I finally recorded my review so I can get onto season 3. Okay, but talking of images, right? Meghan Markle's been complaining again, right? Meghan Markle has been saying she was objectified in Deal or No Deal. Darling, I want to be 100% clear with you. The only reason you got that job is because you look fuckable, okay? That's it. That no one's asked you for your brains, okay? No. It's your eye candy, right? That's your function. Look, okay, if you weren't eye candy, you wouldn't be wearing a sexy Santa Claus suit. That's called being eye candy. Why are you smiling provocatively? Because you are eye candy. And you look great. I'm telling you. I can see why, whatever his name was. What's his fucking name? Henry, whatever he is. Okay. Like, he liked that pussy. I get it, right? Bit sad, really. But, I mean, that's the best. I mean, like, okay, I guess you're like his ultimate pussy. Well done. Congratulations, right? But like when you get a job where you try to be objectified, it kind of negates your ability to complain about being objectified, right? Okay. I hate to be the one to break this to you, right? You can't, one thing doesn't go with another, right? One of these things is not like the other. And again, you look very shaggable. Don't get me wrong, darling. A weaker man than I would submit, and that weaker man in this case was royalty. What can I tell you? Anyway, this is not oppression. This is not oppression. And this is a little bit of awesome, right? This is a little bit of awesome. The matron. Oh, matron. You know what? Here, what's that? I want to play something funny first. Let's do something a little bit fun. Where was it? Over here. I should have got a lot of fun. I've got a lot of crazy, weird, fun stuff. We'll go with this one. This one's awesome.
He has to get your scent first, you see.
Oh, I see. The scent.
I think he's got yours. It's a rotten scent and all. Now, just let Mr. Parkinson give you a little stroke. Go on. See, look. He's quite nice, isn't he? See, look. Look, he's taking...
He's fantastic, okay? I'm sorry. I mean, like, I can't think of an entertainer on his level around today. This is fantastic.
Oh, no.
It's the anticipation, isn't it?
Oh my God!
Is that yours?
Yes, it's mine.
Oh, let's have it. What are you going to do now? He's lost without it, you know.
He's not feeling it. I think they're both high as fuck, okay? I think they're both very, very high, right? And if you think of that, and you go, oh, it all makes sense now. He does. He seems a bit high, doesn't he? Yes.
Don't keep doing that. Yes.
Is it a male or female email, this?
Why don't you have a look for yourself?
Well, I wouldn't know what to look for.
Oh, this is awesome beyond awesome. Okay, I'm sorry. What again? Anybody who wants to make TV needs to be able to watch this and see the humor in it.
It looks nice on there.
What's that? You're not going to say, are you? Actually, what's the matter with you? You're all right, aren't you?
Why is it so aggressive?
It's not aggressive.
Not much.
Not all the time.
Lunatic.
It's not. Come here.
I love how Scooter forward. Again, awesome. This needs to happen to every politician. Oh, wait, what the hell's going on in England? Liz Truss, 44 bloody days. Okay, I don't know what's going on, but I assume she just got where she was because she was a diversity hire, and then she walked in at the biggest crisis in the history of the nation, and she went, catch me out. I guess I just was completely incompetent and couldn't handle it. That's what seems to be happening. Okay, I don't know who they are, but okay, thank you for whoever you are. Doink. There you go. There we go. Fine, let me get to the chat 1 second. Yeah, doink. Okay, here we go. We got Liz. Who's Liz? Says Lonnie. Talking about Liz Shaw? I don't know. Hello. How are you? Have you seen the French horror movie Martyrs? No, I'm not really a big fan of horror movies. The last one I saw was with Karen Gillan, was Oculus, and that was a bit scary. A bit too scary for me. I couldn't get through American Horror Story season 1, right? I'm not a big horror movie. I mean, I don't know. That's what you call a horror movie, I guess. Like I liked like the first Hellraiser or the first couple. I thought they were good. And it's got to be interesting, right? If it's an interesting horror movie, I might be up for it. And it depends what you call a horror movie as well. There's that quite good Nicole Kidman movie where she ends up, spoiler warning, where she ends up being a ghost at the end with the 2 kids. Which I thought that was actually really quite good. Christopher Eccleston was in that. What the hell was that called? That was a good movie. I don't know. I like, although again, I don't think of many horror movies. I go, yeah, I mean, I like The Shining, I guess. But I'm not. I wouldn't. I like the old the Hammer horror movies. I think they're fun because they're kind of kitsch, right? But yeah, no, I haven't seen it. Down with Jodie, says Matt the Silent. She's going down, baby. She's going down. Let's sing is here. I can totally hear Tom Baker's voice saying that joke. Well, you gotta write your lines in character, right? And I can certainly see he has exactly that expression, right? It's just they'll be perfect. Eastern Book, I was how you doing, Eastern? Thank you for joining us. Matt the Silent says, someone brings my 30 started era video. Oh, very good. Good for you. Monk and Magnesia is here. There is a YouTube channel called Whovian Fanbase that can put up an actual tribute video to Jodie, and comments are mostly positive. Almost makes me feel we're in the minority. Oh, the minority. Well, here's the thing. It's not that it's good, and it's not that they like it. It's that they can't be wrong. Right? That's funny. It's just that. It's that they can't be wrong. Right? And they're wrong. Right? It's an embarrassing failure. And they know it's an embarrassing failure, and that's why they're freaking out. Right? They are freaking out, mate. Totally freaking out. What can you do? But it's nearly over. Right? I can't say this enough. It's nearly over. DC is here. How you doing? Colin Archer is here. How you doing? Archer Colin. I never know which way to go with that. We could, you told me and I forgot. So Mark the Vicar is here. How you doing, sir? There. Rabbi for PM. I think anybody at this point, fuck me, you guys are in trouble. All right? I don't even know what like how did if PD Rich is in the chat, please let me know in 3 sentences what happened. Okay, how she fucked up. But that seems to be what happened. DC Clark's on PM, or just find a kind of Charles, a King Charles detached from the WEF, and then we have to dissolve Parliament. Dude, I think this is the end, mate. Okay, I think this is the end, right? I mean, look, you need leadership, right? At this point, you really need bloody leadership. You need emergency leadership. Is that look, we don't have enough power for us all to survive the way we've been living. We need to have an emergency winter. I think you got to have people start living with each other. You got to have. I think you've got to freeze electric prices to that of last year, and the government's got to bear brunt of it. And whatever they got to do to do that, whatever they got to cut to be able to do that. Otherwise, people are going to die, right? I mean, if you've got to cut military, you got to cut military. Whatever you got to do, you know. There's got to be places you can cut, right? If you need to cut street lighting, that's what you got to do. You got to do whatever you need to do because you're fucked, mate, right? Thousands are going to die, right? I don't see how that's how that's avoidable. If you don't have if it's going to cost somebody £2,000, £2,000 to no more than that, it's going to be like £3,000 for like a month's worth of electric or gas, right? You can't afford it. You can't afford it. You're going to die. Like, you know, by February. It's not good. You need emergency leadership. You need to say we are in an emergency. Then somebody needs to like just shoot all the politicians in the back of the head. No, that's a joke. That's a joke. Not all of them. No, don't shoot anyone in the back of the head. No, it's okay. I'm joking. But that really would seem to think it would help things, wouldn't it? If anybody who wanted to be in politics were therefore forbade to, I think it'd make life a lot easier. You know, I'll say to my son, it's incredible. America really invented like the perfect system of government that balanced perfectly, and they totally fucked it up. It's incredible. It took them a few hundred years, but boy, it was good while it lasted. But it just became corrupt beyond corrupt, right? Man, so it's a real shame. Gummed up, like the whole system's gummed up. Like people who weren't supposed to be in politics for their whole lives. Those people that's something you did for 10, 15 years, right? This whole lifelong politician thing is demented, right? People, it should be like a burden. It shouldn't be like and there shouldn't be people with the same amount of business acumen as Nancy Pelosi's husband in the world, right? Whose stock predictions are uncannily accurate. He's a very, very clever man, obviously. Any thoughts, says Matt the Silent. It says here, thanks to my boss, a more important actor had his chance at Doctor Who, delayed, and now I'm leaving, he died. Well, okay. I'm watching episode Crusade for a B5 stream later. You know, I can't. I really never. I saw watch Crusade once when it was done. Babylon 5 was great at times. And like season 3 was really, really fantastic. Was it? Scott said I should be talking about Batman. Really odd you should talk about. Oh, really odd I should talk about Batman and partway through a podcast about that. Okay, very good. So I felt like, wow, it's a non sequitur. Mr. Jekyll and Hyde is here. It doesn't know how long you stick around. I hope you're still here, buddy. Darren A is here. How you doing? Soda Rangers is here. Was it? If Doctor Who continued into the 90s, Crystal Lee would have replaced McCoy. No, you should have gone with Patterson Joseph, right? You should have gone for I really think they should have had a black actor for 6, right? I think that would have made it or even 5, right? I think that because I think that was a time in history where it actually would have meant something. Jonathan Cox is here. How are you doing, Sir Jonathan Cox? Thank you for joining us. Matthew Banders in. Crumpling the Balloon. How are you doing, Mr. Balloon? How are you doing, sir? Liz Truss is out. Yes. I was aware. But who, like, again, it's like, who on earth is in charge, right? I mean, like, I wouldn't trust Labour with anything. I really wouldn't. I wouldn't trust the Tories with anything. Is there any way we could just make Nigel Farage the president of England? Like, put him in charge of everything? I mean, because, like, look, fair's fair. It's like, what are you going to do? Use Rees-Mogg? It's Rees-Mogg or Nigel Farage. Other than that, I don't know there's anybody else out there. You know, Nigel Farage, please. Right? I think Yeah, no, my ruling council, I said this my last podcast, last stream, would be a council of Alan Moore, Johnny Lydon, and Nigel Farage. I'll have the three that rule as one. Three again. You would have like the insanity gene, the genius gene, and the practical gene. Bam, merge them together in some kind of Rat King format, right? What evil you would wrought, but boy, they would be genius, right? You put those three together, right? Man, wow, what they would only do. They would go out and destroy the world. Problem being is it? How you doing, problem being? Jodie Whittaker joined Liz Truss on the scrap heap. Yeah, I mean, like, again, was she just a diversity hire? Is that what happened? It's like, wow, you know, like, it's one thing when you hire someone like Jodie Whittaker to play Doctor Who. All that happens is you have awful Doctor Who, which wasn't great, right? It wasn't great. But I guess when you have somebody like Liz Truss become Prime Minister, what was she supposed to do, though? I don't think anybody could really solve it. Use my my Uber brain, my Alan Moore, Johnny Lydon, Nigel Farage brain, right? I think that's something that that's some kind of being we should breed, right? We need to breed the Farage Moore Lydon being. Problem says B-liar. I don't know who that is. But okay. I want to get some J-Bot stuff as well. Man, they've been so crazy. Oh, man, they've been so crazy. Philip Bogart is here. How you doing, Philip Bogart? Thank you for joining us. Whizzing through that chat, she said, like somebody accepting money for a golden shower. Keith Ewers is here. How you doing? I guess there's probably an OnlyFans page or two that does that. Don't let your ass hit you on Dr. Karen. Nobody likes you. Nobody likes you. And you are gone. Nah, 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 nah. Hey, hey, hey. Goodbye. She's gone, baby. Right? She's gone. It's kind of like, remember that Red Dwarf season 3, episode 1? Backwards, we have a whole new look and everything. But Rimmer and Crichton vanish through a wibbly wobbly thing in space, and Lister and Cat's looking for them. And it's been weeks, and the cat goes to Lister, says, we got to just face facts. They're gone, buddy. Well, you also got to look at the bright side. They're gone, buddy. She's on her way out. Freelance says home ownership being a human right, newlyweds and pregnant women given grants and so on. That seems a little bit liberal to me. That might be, but I do think this this winter, you guys, the shit's hitting the fan. Like I could see like a real breakdown of civilization. Like if there's not enough heat, but like I think you got to be like sleeping more communally. Fatima and Matrix is problem being, and you only get those every once a few decades. Very decisive for some. She was great. For others, she was destructive. Well, I think she was both, right? Again, Thatcher really confuses me. She's the most sexless woman ever. She's the absolute opposite of sex, right? Absolute opposite, right? That it's like any arousement I may have will indeed soften in the presence of a Thatcher field, right? It is it's a bit of a lower, right? But then you have Gillian Anderson play Thatcher, and she looks and sounds exactly like Margaret Thatcher. Indistinguishable, but she's very sexy. It's weird. Weird things happen. I don't know. I can't explain it, mate. I can't explain it. Slap that like button, Pete. Says Ronald B. I can't. I disagree with you. Treat that like button like your bitch, baby. You know she wants it. Now that got dark. Karamazov is here. How you doing, sir? At Tzvi Lebetkin, is that Kevin Coke on the left? I think it was. Here, let's find again. Matron. Could be. I know. I got it from. I saw it on Twitter, and I thought, well, I'll just grab it. Right. And again, I just want to say Meghan Markle, very, very, very shaggable, right? Yes. Looks hot. Meghan Markle is hot. But beware her devil pussy. It will lead even royalty astray. Yes, my devil pussy will do that in my sexy little dresses. Devil pussy can control us with a secret magic book. I mean, she is very hot. Man, absolutely. Thank you, Tom. Save us from that. That's us lustful thoughts, old chum. Robbie Bonham is here. How you doing, Robbie Bonham? Thank you for joining us. Up Tom's emu. Oh, give me a bit of rod hole. It's a male or female. Ooh, transphobic. You wouldn't get away with that now. Jack Place, how you doing? As much as I just like this era, I feel like if Jodie had episodes with good writing, she would have been good. I disagree, right? I disagree. I think her only hope was if somebody, like, she needs to spend a few weeks. I don't even know you could do this, right? I don't know if anybody could educate her on what Doctor Who is. It's like, first you got to convince her she doesn't know something. And that's, forget it. Forget it. Oh, women will never back down. Women will never, ever, ever back down. Okay? Emu versus Biden. Yeah, I do agree with you. So yeah, I don't think she could explain who the character is, right? I don't think she's smart enough. Now maybe we could augment her intelligence somehow, right? We'll do the thing that Chasini was doing with the androgams with Jodie, and she might get slightly not stupid enough to have an idea what the Doctor might be. And then she could be vigorously trained by Russell D. Davis and Stephen Moffat and a resurrected. No, it doesn't have to be resurrected. And a Philip Hinchcliffe. Over a period, she might be able to deliver a line or two, right? And that's really the best you're getting, mate. That is the best you get. The Others. That's the name of that movie. Good movie. Robert Bader's here. How you doing, sir? Thank you for joining us. Who else we got here? Apparently, this trust is the first UK PM to have no Doctor Who during a time in office. Yeah, I understand. It was telling me the movie was The Others. Yes, that sounds like the one. That was a good little movie. Bit of Chris Eccles in it. Certain McCoy was great in The Monsters, but the script was such poo. Oh, can you give me a timestamp? He's in it, right? And that's the only bit I watched. I bet he was good in that, right? It's a shame. It's a shame he got wasted in that piece of shit. Nigel said he can't do it alone. If a few high-ups in Taurus to join him, he mentioned the example of SDP. I don't think any. Listen, this is this is kind of like what Game of Thrones should have ended like, right? That humanity was being torn apart by the clandestine forces of evil. So when they were about to sweep them, they wouldn't work unified at all. If you can't unify, you're screwed, right? I mean, that's really the bottom line. And it was that was name of Tory MP. He really nailed it. Do I have that clip? Because he really bloody nailed it. Let me see. I think I have that clip. Is this the one? Must be. Yeah, this is this guy.
Honest, this whole affair is inexcusable. It is a pitiful reflection on the Conservative Parliamentary Party at every level. And it reflects really badly, obviously, on the government of the day.
Do you think there's any coming back from this?
I don't think so. But I haven't. I have to say I've been of that view really since two weeks ago.
I wish I knew what was going on. I need like a pocket explanation of what Liz's Trust's rise and fall was. Like, how did this happen? It sounds like she's got like everybody's wobbling. There's no control, right? Hindsight maybe 2020, but I wonder if it could have been better if Chibnall had been allowed to completely reboot the show as he supposedly wanted. Then it would have been unconnected. No, no. This fundamental issue is it was shit, right? Its fundamental problem is it was shit. It wasn't that it was woke as fuck. It was shit on top of everything else, right? If it like there are things that are woke as fuck, but also quite good, like the Sandman, right? Which I'm doubting you're going to see a second season of. Maybe you will, right? It like I said, one of the best episodes was woke as fuck. The Sound of a Wings episode, right? But it was also very good. It was very good. It can carry woke as fuck, to a certain extent. But it was shit. It was like just low quality, low rent shit, right? That's essentially what it was.
This is an absolute disgrace. As a Tory MP of 17 years, who's never been a minister, who's got on with it loyally most of the time, I think it's a shambles and a disgrace. I think it is utterly appalling.
So you seem quietly furious.
I'm livid. And, you know, I really shouldn't say this, but I hope all those people that put Liz
Well, apparently there are like fist fights going on.
Truss in number 10, I hope it was worth it. I hope it was worth it for the ministerial red box. I hope it was worth it to sit round the cabinet table, because the damage they have done to our party is extraordinary.
I mean, like, really, it's taken around 3 weeks.
Sorry, it's very difficult to convey. You look just furious about this.
I am. I've had enough. I've had enough of talentless people
Whoa!
putting their tick in the right box, not because it's in the national interest, but because it's in their own personal interest to achieve ministerial position. And I know I speak for hundreds of backbenchers who right now are worrying for their constituents. Or
Again, I have no idea what happened, but it's taken them 6 weeks to fuck this up. Just 6 weeks. Even Biden couldn't do it that quickly. That's really quite impressive. I mean, that's really mind-meltingly impressive, isn't it? And again, I don't know what they did, right? So it's obviously we're going through a tumultuous time. I'm concerned about the direction of the government. It has a direction. I think you should be concerned about the lack of direction is what I could think.
the time, but now worrying about their own personal circumstances, because there is nothing as an ex-MP, and a lot of my colleagues are wondering, as many of their constituents are wondering, how they're going to pay their mortgages if this all comes to an end soon.
Certainly, don't upset the white male patriarchy. This is what they look like.
What do you do next? How do you move on from this?
Well,
Riot!
I'm leaving Parliament at the...
Burn it all to the ground! We're fucked! I want him to say that. We're all fucked! Run! Take it for yourselves! Run!
next general election, and I'm leaving voluntarily. But unless we get our act together and behave like grown-ups, I'm afraid many hundreds of my colleagues, perhaps 200, will be leaving at the behest of their electorate. So that's really pretty much all I've got to say. Patience reached the limit.
You're probably not the only one.
I'm not.
Yeah. He's don't piss off the white man. Which is essentially what happened there. Fine, let's look at some Doctor Who news. That's it. There's a bunch of Doctor Who things. Let me see if there's any new news. But that's essentially what's going on. Let me see. No, nothing new. That's good. What's this headline? Doctor Who, Jodie with a good shooting getaway. It's yours for the taking. He took it, you dumb cunt. What are you talking about? It's yours for the taking. He's taking it, you dumb cunt. What is wrong with you? Oh, yeah. Yeah, look, find your bunkers, mate. I think, come to Israel. I'm not even joking. Move to Israel. It's like, we're doing okay over here. You guys are... God. Robin said she spooked the markets due to her tax plan, and the parliamentary party didn't like the choice of her by the membership. Okay. I get, yeah. Okay, doesn't sound good for her. Anyway, and she wasn't skilled enough to survive it. That's basically the bottom line, right? That is basically the bottom line. Let's share the screen. Where is it? Doink. There you go. It's yours for the taking, Jodie. She's taking it, okay? He's taking it. You don't need it, mate. Okay, you don't need it. So let's look at bullshit number one, right? Bullshit number one is this story over here, which is just this repeated bullshit. She's given a whole generation of young girls and women a chance to feel that they are the doctor. Excuse me, she hasn't. She's alienated young women. My dog is not happy. Hopefully she's going down. She's alienated more people than she's brought in. Right. I mean, here, I guess we got to pull up the chart. I'm going to update the chart after Power of the Doctor. Oh, Ecky Thump. There we go. Doink. Open with Google Chrome. Ka-jang! Right. So look. Not was it? Say 11 minus 4.4 is was it? That's 6.6. Is it? Yeah, 6.6. All right. That's what was it? 2/3 of the audience that she's lost. She hasn't bought. Girls don't feel safe around her. Nobody does. So, hey, do you want to go have magic time booked? Oh, yeah. If you go near, you're gonna die. She's the shittest of doctors, right? She's not a doctor. She's some kind of like, I don't know, false incarnation spewed out by a poo of the TARDIS. Yeah. Ahead of Jodie, we're gonna find an event. I'm going to show an Pairs tribute. Oh, Jodie is so good. I want to suck on her toes. I want to suck on her toes and tell me she likes it. Yes, I want to suck on her toes. Really? Yes. Chris, maybe you want to wind that back? No, that's how good Jodie is. I want to suck on her toes. Well, look, maybe. Chris, mate, I would say just wind that in. No. Everybody should know how good her toes. Chris, mate, no one's arguing with you. All we're saying is maybe not put a broadcast. Yeah, that's what it's going to be. Broadcast, baby. So, yeah, weird things going down. So I got lots of things like this to look at tonight. But, you know, I think when you go for a little walk through the dingling dell of Doctor Who bullshit, it's best not to go alone, right? I think you need a compadre. I think you need somebody grounded on the ground, embedded reporter, and they don't come quite as embedded as our fellow the next chap. It is, of course, royalty, and I only consent to royalty on my channel. It's the broadest definition of the word royalty. One can imagine because it's Birmingham's royalty. It's called Birmingham's Kingly. Dan Hadley, how you doing, sir?
Yes, I may not be embedded, but I've certainly been imbibed a few times over the years. Hello, mate. Good to see you. What a week.
Yeah, okay. What's the potted history of Liz Truss? Like, how did she come and go?
Yes, I was thinking earlier on, is Liz Truss the Jodie Whittaker of British politics, or is Jodie Whittaker the Liz Truss of Doctor Who? I'm not entirely sure.
I wish Jodie Whittaker stayed around for the length of Liz Truss.
Yes, who is and what is Liz Truss? Liz Truss is, how can I put this? A no-mark. She's one of these people who's been in politics for far too long, doesn't spend enough time talking to real people, and you can tell just by that vacant look on her face. That's why she looks like an android. She is, I mean, whoever thought that she was Prime Minister material in the first place needed their head read, as the Aussies would say. Yeah.
Well, yeah, she seemed like, you know, that she was there because she hadn't screwed up and stayed out over his way.
I mean, the way I see it, I found all this is, I didn't think that she would resign. I've got to be honest. I knew that she was a terrible prospect for Prime Minister. I thought she was a terrible idea to lead the party, to tell you the truth. I do believe that, I mean, I've said to you before, haven't I, that that the conservatives, are being hounded out of power by the media. That's what they're doing. They're trying to burn through candidates, but by installing a prime minister so obviously not up to the job, the Tories have played right into their hands, and in some ways they deserve everything that they get. When I
do definitely hear that. But
Kemi Badenoch was a far better option. Penny Mordaunt to a lesser extent. There were other.
The big problem is they keep apologizing for being conservative, right? That's really Dan. Can you turn your
I've seen
your
people
gate
saying
down?
this, but I haven't actually adjusted the settings on this at all, so I don't know why it's.
It sounds normal to me.
Yeah, it sounds everything actually looks normal to me here as well. All the readings are exactly the same, but I'll look at it in a second. Hold on. Yeah.
So, what's I saying about her? The Conservatives keep apologizing. They keep playing into the media game.
Yeah.
They need to learn from Trump, right? They need to they need to just go bombastically in their faces. Right, and keep going in the face and pointing out when they're wrong.
Just hold their frame, stay true to their word. This Conservative government had an unprecedented majority when they got into power. They have literally all the power that any political party could possibly have as a majority. They can do whatever they like. They can push through whatever they wish. They can make good on every promise to the British people, and they haven't. They refuse to actually do anything. They say all the right things. Look at Priti Patel saying all the right things as Home Secretary. For how long was she in that job for? Well over a year. Didn't actually do anything. So
that's the thing. They don't do anything. I mean, why? Because they're overqualified idiots. They're overeducated, overqualified idiots. They're idiot toffs, right? The only one in the party I've ever heard seemed anyway authentic, and I can't tell if he is or not. Is what's his name? Little Lord Fauntleroy. Looks like Softy Water.
Oh, you mean William Rees-Mogg?
Yeah, he's the only one who's ever seen in any way genuine. He might not be, I have no idea.
No, I think with him, he is exactly who he says he is, who he appears to be. He's very unlikable, and that's why you'd never put him in a position like that. And he's very, he's not very photogenic and all those sorts of things. But he's a career.
I like it for all those reasons, right?
So do I. He's a good British eccentric, and in years gone by, certainly before Blair, somebody like him would have absolutely been prime minister. But that's just not how it works anymore. I mean, the main problem is that the Tories haven't just been trying to appease the media. The media's been challenging them to do things, and as they've been trying to reach those targets, the media keeps raising the bar. But at the same time, they're trying to, for some reason, this is what's really frustrating, they're trying to placate the Labour Party as well. The Labour Party are a rabble. They're completely insignificant. They're unelectable. And yet...
Honestly, they should really wind back and come out stronger against this grooming stuff. And ask yourself this question. If Jimmy Savile was alive today, would he be a stronger proponent of trans rights? Of course he would. Of course he would. Because there is that group is being disproportionately used by nefarious people like Jimmy Savile to get to kids, right? There's a disproportionate amount of abuse within people adjacent. Shall we say? I don't want to go into details, right? But so I say, Jimmy Savile will be a huge trans rights person.
Incidentally, everybody, do I sound better now? Does this mic sound? Do I sound better now?
Sounds better to me, baby. I mean, it sounds good to me.
Okay. No, I agree with everything you've just said. I can't remember a time in British politics like this, but I could see this coming. I don't consider myself to be a very political animal. I'm not the most politically astute person in the world. I'm certainly not an activist. But I know an arsehole when I see one. And
look, generally speaking, I think the political definition of who you are is that you're fucked. I want to tell you, I just stockpile fuel now.
Things are getting considerably worse. We could end up with Jeremy Hunt.
I even know who he is.
Ooh.
Fine. I'm just going over these things. This is such a lie. this question, this quote, right? It makes me crazy. This is what they're trying to make as the legacy.
Don't get me the amount of lies that have been that are just flowing now, like streams of diarrhea from articles like this, picked up by people on social media. I don't know if you saw. I got into the stupidest conversation of my life last night on Twitter, so I can't wait to see what you've got to find today.
One second. Could this be this? I meant to get this before you came on. This is insane. This is truly insane, right?
I don't know if you noticed, but I had a lot of people click like on my admittedly rather curt answer to the Radio Times article there. A lot of people click like on that, but you should have seen the heat that I got from it.
I did, and I recorded a lot of it. She's like, here's the thing, though, you know, you got to work. You can tell what they're worried about that by their reaction, right? They're worried that they've been proved wrong. They're worried that they don't have power, right? And that's how they're. And your statement depowered them, because what you said was 100% true. Right. She was. Was it
I may have,
what did you say,
mate? I may have been. I may have been dismissive, and that may have been a short. But this is Twitter. You've got limited characters, and that is generally speaking, that's the no nonsense, no fat answer to that question. I noticed how I got 3 replies from 3 different people, all called Caitlin. 3 different. So I can't remember if it was this Caitlin or the other one, but. Immediately, I think it was this one, I got an admission from them, and it was, it's not her fault. So we've got fault. So we accept that somebody was at fault, that this wasn't perfect after all, which is a step in the right direction. But after that, it was all hinged on my being a bad person for saying what was on my mind. And then afterwards,
that's what it is. And here's what it is, right? There's a reason they're freaking out right now. This is what my opening monologue was. It's over. This is why they're squealing like pigs in an abattoir, right? Because it's over, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about Tylenol Victorious now? Couldn't give a shit, right? It's over, right? It's gone. It's finished. Add into that mix that everybody wants it gone. Anybody who paid for a fucking license, they want it gone. Doctor Who magazine scrubbing it as soon as humanly possible. I think Big Finish probably the same, right? I think anybody who makes money from this wants to scrub it quick.
Oh, they do, and you can tell. Well, you know, I've been told certain things. I know you've been told certain things as well, to the point where we are in no doubt at all how informed we are, and you know, that's something that we're. I wouldn't say it's a privileged position to know these things, but we can speak with a certain amount of. One reason I am optimistic about the Rusty Davies era is because I've heard from many sources he hates the Chibnall stuff. Like he absolutely detests it. He's immensely frustrated by it.
And I don't think there's any creative. I don't think David Tennant's in it, right? Do you think he's going to be in it?
Yes.
So I don't think he is, because we're here. Let me pull up Doctor Who magazine. There's have you read this? Read this yet? Hang on.
No. But the Radio Times article that you'd got up earlier on and that I'd replied to, I'd clicked that article there from Radio Times. I can't remember who wrote it because it was about 3 paragraphs long. So I clicked on it and I read it, mate. So I went and read the whole thing. And then I made my comments. And afterwards, and I've just seen Lee say in the chat, problem being just send the chat, you don't owe them an explanation. And of course, he's quite right, I don't. But some of the replies were so hilarious, I couldn't help but reply in an equally... It was absolutely batshit crazy. But after a while, the replies changed from being, oh, you're not a very nice person, which maybe I'm not. I don't know. I can live with that. Maybe I'm not. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. That's fine. But then a few hours later, when I looked back, the replies were along the lines of, you know, why do you think it's okay for women to be harassed? And why do you think it's okay?
I've recorded with them, like, they weren't harassed.
And I thought I couldn't understand where the story had changed, because I hadn't said anything about harassment. And when I read the article, Jodie, there was nothing in there about harassment. And but I had so many people telling me that Jodie Whittaker had been harassed I thought to myself, okay, Dan, you read that first thing this morning. It was a very brief article. Maybe you misread it. I don't know about you, right, mate, but I sometimes misread things. And I thought, all these other people, they seem to.
No. Here's the thing: you're dealing with crazy people who are in a frenzy. They're not going to be sane, and you keep using sane rules. They're not.
Yes.
They know they're over, right? Again, they are pigs at an abattoir. They are squealing. That's all it is. I wouldn't engage, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, that has. I was retweeted by about a dozen times, and some of them are very familiar people that you will have seen their names, the usual suspects. Right. People like Jamie from TARDIS Central. People like that, disingenuous little runts who really have far too much time on their hands. So you've got people like that, but other people, people just come out of nowhere and say, why do you think it's okay for women to be harassed? She was terrified. She'd been harassed. I went back and read the article. She said nothing at all about being harassed.
Right. Yeah. No, I do want to look at the story. Anyway, here, I wanted to show you about the
yes.
This quote. Did he make any effort to dovetail with the incoming showrunner Russ Lee Davies? No, because I wrote it before I knew Russell was taking over. That much we knew, right? I knew it before. Says Chris. I had my suspicions about what was going to happen. No, you didn't. But when I had confirmed, when I had it confirmed, I said to Russell, "This is going to work very nicely. The story is."
Rabbi, I don't think he meant creatively. As regards the fiction, I think he meant business-wise. I think he had his suspicion it was going to go to an independent.
Oh, I see what you're saying. But basically, he's saying his thing keys us up. So I think probably Russell Davies heard what he was doing and wrote something to catch it and fix it. Right? I think it's written into a cliffhanger that doesn't make sense. And I think he's trying to decanonize, catch, and fix it.
Probably, that's what I do. I think. I mean, I'm not a showrunner. I know I'm just somebody with a reasonably decent cognitive ability, and that's what it's the only way. Well, all the noises that they're making so far are sound business calls. Never mind creative calls. You see the new logo. Exactly. All that we've seen is the gradual repositioning of those fundamentals that one needs to hold up and to
revive the brand.
Revive and to build an intellectual property. So they've taken a few steps back and they're already moving forward. They've been moving forward parallel to all of this being closed down, and that's the reason why the BBC held over broadcast of this last special. Well, no, that's why they commissioned one last special to make it look like the gap of nearly 2 years out of production was not going to look so long. Was that's what's been going on?
I think they actually cut their budget. I think they said you've got to make more stories with the money that we given you or something like that, and they really had to cut their budget down for the Christmas special and for the Sea Devil one. But I think they thought they had the money for 8 episodes, and they said no, you got to make 9, and so this was always that they're going to be the last one.
Well, I know the Dalek special and the Sea Devil special were part of the same order, the same commission,
right,
of broadcast minutes. That was Flux. So all 8 of those were commissioned in a block, and this was commissioned separately. They were all commissioned by Piers Wenger, but apart from that, I don't know budget wise. I don't know.
Never has a man been better named. Oh God,
he's gone. He's long gone as well. He's off now, fucking up something else.
Yeah. Of course, yeah, they're all running for the hills. Absolutely. Here, let's look at some of the best of Jodie. Where's this Radio Times article?
He's spoiling me already. This is why I come here, everybody.
Here we go. I can't. Oh, is this the one? Yeah. So we showed bullshit number 1, which is we share the screen. Here's the one. So firstly, we showed you bullshit number 1, which is this. Oh, a whole generation of... No, that's a fib. That's not real. That's a lie, right? So more. Let's go to bullshit number 2. We know this is bullshit number 2 because we lived through it. Jodie Whittaker's rage over Doctor Who cast was terrified. There was no fucking rage.
And isn't it revolting that they've illustrated it with that image as well? Like she's gone from being the victor to the victim in literally the blink of an eye because it suits these disingenuous twats at Radio Times. They're not journalists anymore at the Radio Times. They're no better than Screen Rant now. Radio Times.
Absolutely, I do agree with you, but like it's ridiculous, right? Again, we lived through this. This was a libel, the slander, probably a slander and a libel. That we both lived. Right. It was spoken and written. No, this is libel, right? Fine. The actor opened back with a negative backlash after a casting was announced. It was overwhelmingly positive. Myself included. It's you who fucked this up, darling. Nobody else.
As somebody who has been running a Doctor Who group on Facebook now for 6 or 7 years, I can say that it was at least 3/4 in favour of her casting when she was announced. At least. Yeah,
exactly. This was hers to lose, and she lost it. Right. Anyway, Jodie was about to step down to the TARD as a Doctor Who for the last time in Doctor Who Power of the Daleks, following 3 full seasons and 3 specials. Yeah, she had as much as anybody else. No, she didn't. Stop trying to fit. God, whatever. The actor has certainly made the role her own. Yeah, she took a shit on it. That normally when somebody takes a shit on something, it's like, it's yours, mate.
It's like
I'll share it with you.
A dog or a cat marking its territory.
Yeah. Look, once you take a shit on my pillow, it's your pillow. Okay, that's just the way I am. That's the way I roll, mate. It's all yours. Okay.
Fucking hell.
No matter how much it cleans. Saxon certainly made the role wrong. Yes, she has. The first woman who ever played the beloved character. I didn't know that. They should have mentioned it. Ushered in a new era series. Can we just have a quick reminder what that new era looked like? Okay, that's good. That's great new era. Very good. And I've really got to revise that when we get to. I haven't put in Sea Devils one yet. I mean, I have to get to. What was the range for the Sea Devils one?
2.2. That's the official overnight. The unofficial overnight, the people that actually watched it was we've never actually been given the actual figure from Tom Spilsbury, but it could be around 1.8 at the highest.
Yeah, that's what I heard. But I wanted to see the official rating because they always beef it up.
Yeah, 2.2 was
2.2 overnight. You're right. So like, I only came up to 3.4. Blimey. And that's like squeezing it as much as 3.47. So I can't even get this. Look at this. It's not even on the chart. I got to remake the fucking chart.
I was going to ask if you got where does this go up to, and could you send me a copy of it?
It goes up to 11 and doesn't go down enough. This is good.
Oh, Lord above.
That's not good, Jodie. That's not good. I want to be clear. That's not something you can be proud of, darling. You thought, but you didn't see that coming. Yeah.
So you've included a column there. So you've included the stats there. So we've got room for wherever the centenary will go. I've just noticed at the bottom there.
Right. It's up to there, but I'm like, it's off the fucking chart. It's over here somewhere. That's crazy. It's even lower than that. I reckon they'll get up for 5 for the centenary, don't you?
I think no, I don't.
No, you don't think so?
No, I think that they're going to get. I've said before. I've said it on several shows now. I think it's going to be a 3 million for this on the overnights.
Please,
I sincerely do. I don't think it's going to get any more than 3 million. I think the ship there's, I mean, unless people have seen, because I've been quite busy this week, so I haven't really, and I haven't got a television, as you know, so I don't know how heavily they're promoting it on the BBC channels. But there are no bus posters. There's no buzz. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody's asked me about it, which is really strange. Usually people would be asking me about this. You know what it's like, everybody. You're the go-to Doctor Who guy. You're the geeky one. You're the mate who likes this. Nobody knows. Nobody cares. A lot of people think she's already gone because 4 or 5 months ago there was pictures of David Tennant running around Bristol doing whatever.
Exactly.
So that was in the paper. People think she's already gone, and they're aware that there's this young black guy about to take the lead as well. And so why would they think there was 3 leads to this TV show? Why would they think there was 2? I mean,
yeah, and then you got this ultra confusing, very, very lore heavy, Chris Chibnall heavy episode.
Yeah,
with like lots of things in it to distract you from it. But
Rabbi, on the off chance that people do think, oh yeah, I'll watch that. Or there's a Doctor Who special. I think when they see it starts at 7:30. Bear in mind that the kids, it's not half term. The kids are at school the next day. They're not going to watch it then. I think there'll be some people who might say, oh, that should be explosive. I might watch that. I'll give it 10 minutes before their heads are spinning and they think, you know what's on the other side, love?
Well, we're never going to get the real figures, are we?
No,
if you watch
probably
2
not.
minutes, you get a view. Right, they're going to pump up those figures as much as humanly possible.
Well, that was Tom Spilsbury who let that out, didn't he? That those
I know
the overnight figures.
Yeah, and he was doing it to try and help them.
Yeah, drop them right in it. I mean, Tom Spilsbury is a proper, he's a fussy, prissy little man, but he's as honest as the day is long. He was too honest for them. He put that information out. He put it out in good faith, and I don't think he realised that he had kind of.
Oh, I pounced on it instantly. That was me. Okay, I pounced on that. Their live rating. I pounced on that instantly. Tom, mate, I'm sorry if I caused you, sleepless nights. What can I tell you?
Yeah, because he tweeted you. He tweeted at you and everything, didn't he? To say, "Oh, that's not what I meant." No, mate, but it is the figure you put out. So it's fair game.
I can't remember. Did he tweet at me?
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
I remember he was like, yeah, embarrassed about it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm telling you, it's what you said. And I think honestly, I think a live viewing figure is as close to a Sylvester McCoy viewing figure. Right, I think as many people are watching it on catch up as people are watching it, recording it.
Yes, probably. Yeah.
Anyway, let's read this bullshit. Jodie Whittaker is about to step into the TARDIS for the last time. Ecky thump. Jodie, we're gonna power of the Doctor. Oh, so much power! May you hear me? Power. Following their 3 full seasons. She's pretending that she's valid. She's not. The actor I made a roll. Fine, took a shit on it. Fine, we covered that. New era of the series of terrible rating. But when a casting was out, some factions of the fandom took issue with the fact she was a woman. Hadn't noticed. Was playing the Doctor. It was so muted. You're so light. I'm sure you're going to give me examples, of course. During a chat with Radio Times, Whittaker opened up about what it was like to receive the backlash, calling it the experience terrifying. You were such a cunt at the time. You were such a patronizing cunt about it. You built it up, right? It was like, you were like, don't be scared of my sex. Do you remember that?
I remember.
Oh, it was so patronizing. You remember?
Yeah. I mean, it was a patronizing statement, but it did feel reasonably even. It wasn't adversarial, for example.
Yeah, but that's before we saw how old she was. Don't be scared of my gender, I think it was.
I mean, do you think, mate, that these statements that they were written for them, that they never actually said a lot of this stuff, and so she probably can't remember what she said and what she didn't? Or what do you think about that? I just don't know.
I think there is Twitter moments.
Because Chris Chibnall's stuff, all the stuff that he says, it always sounds just as morose as you'd think. But
right, well, Chris Chibnall.
I mean,
I'm sure it's a blue check mark, so she's going to get excited, right? I bet this girl's never seen it. Giant blimey. You want to get that kid to smile, mate. We all know it's a girl by now, right? Everybody knew it was a girl. Oh, shut up! I have a feeling you were, pointing a gun at that kid off camera.
Oh God, yeah.
Now we've rehearsed this many times. It's
tantamount to abuse. That is. I mean, yeah. You can actually imagine her doing that, coaching the kid. Maybe they've got 4 kids. She did it with all of them until she got the response that she needed.
Well, look, her grimace seemed a bit overwrought at the beginning of that. Like, she seems to be putting it on. So
you're unhappy, and now you're happy.
yeah. I think that is what the French say is the bullshit, the big bullshit. So I don't believe you, right? I don't believe the authenticity of this. No, Braz and Atana, she joked before adding, "Come on, what's your argument? I'm playing an alien and doing a shit job about it. And the fact that you don't understand that might be a problem is an indication of how little you understand the fucking role."
See, for me,
Rabbi,
me, Rabbi, I'm interested by their use of the phrase just in the middle of that. She joked. So they're not interviewing a Jodie Whittaker who is doubled up with emotional pain and PTSD, remembering this terrible ordeal that she went through. She's speaking conversationally to this journalist, if you can call them that, probably over the phone. It's just a couple of sentences like this, and they're building it up to be something it simply isn't.
No, it's nonsense. It's really absolute nonsense. So it gets worse, right? There's a fine line between it being the hilarity of it. Oh, it's so funny. I'm taking a shit on Doctor Who, and the fact that it's terrifying that a woman be given a particular job. You were shit at it. Will you stop being so smug? You failed in every fucking way possible. Oh, look at that destruction of the franchise. Hey, what? You say it's not none of that's your fault? That's your fucking fault, darling. Oh, it's so funny. Oh, Icky Thumb. How many billions have I lost? But you better pay me the same as anybody else who's done a better job than me.
It's everybody's fault except Jodie Whittaker's. If you listen to the arseholes on Twitter, everyone else. The girl who makes the tea, the runners, everyone.
Can cause so much rage. It's just a tiny vial of rage, it goes, but of course, it was tiny. The anger and negativity are always the loudest, and that's what you've hidden behind, your entire turgid run, and it stopped working, right? I mean, look, you're only going to keep it up the first season, and when people saw the shit the second, God, look at it.
That second season was unbearable, wasn't it? That's the 10 longest weeks of my life, including when I was on bail.
I was actually optimistic about it. I was like, maybe they learned the lesson. Oh, look at me. Jodie with a role play sex education style said, he'll be extraordinary. Well, compared to you, a tub of larders, darling. Read more about it in the Radio Times. Read more about it. What should we look at next? What's this one? Now, again, speaking of the bullshit. By the way, what time do you have to leave?
I have. Oh, crap. It is later than I thought. I must have gone on late. We're just having too much fun, aren't we? Go on, let's go for another 10 or 15 minutes. Yeah, carry on.
I will plug your stream in a minute then. Jodie Whittaker's star pays tribute to Jodie Whittaker. Best I've ever worked with. You lying people. I mean, really? No, she's not. She's awful. Like we can all see this, right? It's not you're not acting in a cardboard box. We're actually putting this on TV, and I know not many, but like I know we know we can all see you do this. She's shit. So Sasha One says she's bestest ever. Let's see what he's got to say. She's the best actress I've ever worked with. You are lying. She's the best actress I've ever worked with, and that's just not because her acting ability good. I'm glad you're not resting on that. It's the fact that she is one hell of a Cockney leader. Oh God, she's like Polly from Heidi High. Then, who would have been better? Bring on Sue Pollard as Doctor.
Bring back Sue Pollard.
Is she still alive?
Yeah, she's still alive. Yeah, she's still rocking on.
I always felt she should be married to Timmy Mallet. Yeah, I've just thought that was the right combination.
Yeah, she's a bit of a party girl, is Sue Pollard. Even in her, she's getting up there in years. Yeah.
It's really hard to explain it. Because you're making it up, right? But any actor who would understand this, because playing Doctor is a really huge responsibility. She's in every scene. She has so much dialogue that changes. And she welcomes. I've just never seen it. She welcomes every actor, no matter how big or small, with open arms. Okay, if you could just act as well, right? I'm like, if you could just act as well, that would be great. But she can't. She's awful, right? She's absolutely diabolically awful. She recalls being incredibly nervous when she first joined the cast. Well, again, she had an idea how awful she was going to be. You have someone knocking at your door saying, "Mate, get in my trailer." I mean, I worked with Jodie on ITV years ago, and we got to know each other. I don't care. Got to know each other. Amazing human being, best as ever, cures cancer. I want to suck her toes. Really, really suck. Yes, but she's incredible. I couldn't be more proud of to have done scenes with her. Really, Sasha? Really? I mean, that you must be a great actor because I bet you could pull that off.
He's such a nice fella, and he's having he seems to have the time of his life. In fact, whichever job he's on, he always seems to be enjoying himself. He's the kind of bloke you'd kind of like to hang out with, this guy. But with the best will in the world, I take everything he says in this regard with a massive pinch of salt.
Sasha, we can all kind of see through this, okay? Peter Cabaldi's taking the piss. Peter Cabaldi's clearly was fired to make way for Jodie.
It seems
right?
so.
I mean, like,
it seems that way.
It's getting more and more obvious every day. Peter Cabaldi addresses ridiculous Doctor Who secretly. Okay, let's see what he's going to say.
He's not wrong, is he? When you think about it.
Yes. He's talking about Chibnall, obviously. Looking for the Devil's Hour, saying it is ridiculous to keep secrets whilst playing the 12th incarnation of the Doctor. Who cares if the Simons will be there next week? Well, we kind of interested, mate. He said before. He said before saying that his upcoming role, Amazon Prime Devil's Hour, it's been his first time he's been in a position where he can really say nothing without giving everything away. Okay. It's more difficult to explain than you'll see. Have you seen this other thing, Moffat's The Inside Man?
I haven't, no. You kind of talked me out of it.
I can only watch 7 seconds. It was what's her name? Lydia West being objectified on the train by a creepy guy. I'm done with this. But it's fun. I get to do lots of nasty things and wreak havoc and the whole thing. Kabaddi Blade, the 12th Doctor. Where does he say he's never coming back? Sixth part written by Tom. It was written by Tom Moran. I thought it was written by Stephen Moffat.
I think it's produced by Hartswood. I think Stephen Moffat is a producer on it. But
I did not know that. Okay, I'm quite intrigued. Stephen Moffat. Come on, I'd rather leave it as it is. You cunts. Subheading there. Did you see this story? David Tennant was on the shortlist to be James Bond.
Yes, I did see this, and I was a little surprised. I think he might have made it at that time. I think obviously it'd been a very different direction than going with somebody like Daniel Craig. But he'd have probably been quite good as Bond, but it'd been so different.
I think he would have been awful. So. It was way too little, way too skinny.
Different. I think he would have probably have beefed up a little, to say the least. But I think the prospect of Tennant playing Bond is so different from what we ended up with. It's very hard to imagine.
Right. I mean, he'll go for the charm. I don't know how he'll do it, but I just don't think it was a good idea.
No.
Liam Neeson was down for it. They were going to do a sequel from Never Say Never Again.
Yes.
And Liam Neeson was going to be down for three movies playing James Bond in the rival thing.
Yeah.
But that was that. Then they had the litigation, and that never going to be. So yeah, here, let me pull up your stream.
Oh,
So this
yes,
is on.
please.
This is on when? This is on tonight.
From 8 p.m. From 8 p.m. UK time on the Spacebook channel. Yeah, we're back for another block of episodes to take you through the Christmas with lots more Doctor Who content and conversation and nonsense. And this time, of course, we're celebrating. Just how far is it away? 72 hours until we're finally going to wave a goodbye.
Again, it's nearly all over, right? It's nearly all over.
I can't wait. Obviously, we're doing a big show on the night, but this is a chance for us to connect with you guys out there. We put out a podcast last week where myself, Shah, and Charlotte, and Ian, we went through that trailer, kind of piece by piece by piece.
Right.
But this is the live stream, so people are going to get the chance to say their piece, what they thought about the trailer, what they think about all the nonsense surrounding it, and what you think, everybody out there, what you think will be coming up on Sunday, what little morsels are they gonna drop by our way. We've got some silly quotes from Chris Chibnall and Stephen Moffat. We've got a report back from Ian and Shah. They were out. They were out as Type 40's time agents. They went out to a real life Doctor Who hotspot, and they've come back with some swag. So they're going to tell us all about that too.
Okay, that sounds fun. Again, that's
Always.
on in an hour and a half. Yeah, no. Again, fun streams had Wales. So I just take the thing as a medicine. I was like, oh, and you finish your wrap up.
I finished my diatribe. Yeah, so please come and join me. We've not quite sure who's going to be doing what when on Sunday, but I know that you're talking about it. I think everybody's going to be talking about it.
By the way, channel news. I am guesting on another channel, which I'm not sure I can announce it yet. Maybe he's already announced it. I don't know. But I'll be at the beginning of their watch along stream and the beginning of their review stream. The watch along, I got to watch it, right? I got to pay attention.
I have to.
So I can't do a watch along, but I will be. But the review starts before mine, so I will be there.
Is it somebody we know, or is it somebody?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, stay tuned for that then. Good stuff. I'll be covering it next week as well. You know what these things are like. You don't know how big a splash it's going to make, but we're certainly going to be there on that.
It's going right. So I'm doing the whole here. Let me show you what I got coming up. I got so much bloody content.
Awesome.
Right, because I realize it's nearly over. Right, you've got to get this stuff out now. It's now or never, baby.
Yeah, it's really is the end of an era.
I got the this interview with Mandip Gill and another one, John Bishop, that I haven't gone through. I don't think I'm going to have a chance to get to it. Right, I got too much stuff coming up. So I had. I know. Did you see the thumbnail?
Yeah, I did, but it's still funny.
You could just hear his voice, right? You could just hear his voice.
You were awful.
You were awful. Yes. So we got this coming up tomorrow. Bracing for impact. Doctor Who magazine's in-depth preview of the end of this epically hated turgid era. I got lots of backup stuff going on. Like this was out when I went over Chris Chibnall's in the TARDIS tin, or at the TARDIS in Doctor Who magazine.
Yeah.
I went over Jodie's interview with. I think I released this today on big issue. And then Saturday night was the night before Jodie. Jodie would have reflected on being the worst person in the history of humanity to do the job of playing Doctor Who. This is an actual quote. If I had to put my whole time on Doctor Who into context, the word I would use to sum it up is joy. Meaningless word salad. What the hell? Like, I'm glad you had a good time. Is he setting fire to it, you silly cow? Oh.
Yeah, she really is a massive liability, and heaven knows. I know she's hiding behind the fact that she's on maternity leave at the moment, but we all know that a role on Emmerdale as the new barmaid there is not too far away. We've got a couple of years until we see her doing that.
Yeah, if she's lucky, I don't know. I think she's
done.
Yeah, she's going to get mercy hiring. God only knows what happened with Chibnall. I mean, like, I feel bad for him now. But like, God only knows what happened with Chibnall. He said he's working on some kind of soap or something, or some non-sci-fi drama. Thank God, right?
There is no way that man will run another international brand major show like that again. I can see him getting the chance to sell some sort of new idea, like Born and Bred, that dopey show that he used to do on about the vets or whatever it was. But other than that, I can't say. I think it's all over for Chris Chibnall. You can't tank a property like this and come away with your career intact.
I think the reason that people in like BBC and just everybody in entertainment is lying, right? And so openly lying about this is because they know they're lying and they think you all know they're lying as well, right? They say, it's not really a lie because we all know it's bullshit. No, it is. It's a lie, mate. It's a lie. Don't know what to tell you. It's absolutely a lie.
You asked about this person earlier on. I've got a picture here. You might want to...
No, there you go. Would have been so much better. Would have been so much freaking better.
That's the original Chibnall TARDIS there. That's behind her there with the doors open. Slightly paler blue, but it's still the TARDIS. Still the TARDIS.
Oh God, it's also awful.
Thanks for your indulgence, as always, Rabbi. It's always good to be invited. Thanks to everybody else for listening to me too. I'll see some of you later on, I hope, for a load of old nonsense from 8 p.m.
Very good. Toodle pip.
Yeah, I'll catch up with you later, mate. Cheers, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye. Fine. Let's go to this thing which I've been wanting to get to. I really should look at Bounding in the Comics. Where is it? Anyway, let me have a quick look at Bounding in the Comics. It's getting late. You know, I haven't commented on the state of the world. Bounding in the Comics. Let's refresh it. See if there's anything new. Ezra Miller reportedly being replaced as a Flash, no matter what. Are they replacing him in the actual Flash movie? That's crazy. Netflix portrait of all Quiet on Western Front. We want to be historically authentic at all times. Well, none of this looks fine. So he's facing up to 26 years. Are they going to like reshoot the movie? He's likely done as Barry Allen after the Flash reaches theaters. Yeah. Oh, he's being replaced post-Flash. I can see that. I can totally see that. Oh. Do I want to see this? I don't know. I'll check the trailer out. Henry Cavill cameo and Black Adam as Superman spoiled. Warner Brothers still trying to keep a lid on it. It's getting tanked, isn't it, Black Adam? Right? All right. And look, more Henry Cavill the better, right? More Henry Cavill the better. Comedian Robert Schneiderman is the latest reason free from California. I don't want the Democratic Party trying to ruin my life. They've lost it. They've lost it. They're going to epically... listen, it's good news in my biblical philosophy that they if they're going to epically lose in these midterms, right? It's very good news, which means... It essentially means it's like the Satan is nearly dead, right? He doesn't have the energy to protect Biden. The devil's due is basically paid off because Biden's done at that point, right? So... and I think, so I think it's good news. If they win big time, it's bad news. I think it's more, but there's heavy punishment coming. Marvel Studios room to reshape the X-Men for this new era. Want Halle Berry to reprise Storm and probably front it. Yeah, not really interested. Brings the power of shit. Oh, Alan here. I love this. Alan Moore officially disowned Damon Lindelof of Watchmen. Miniseries on HBO. It's embarrassing to me. I understand that. It's very dumb. It's like Alan Moore's very smart, and this is very dumb, right? The Watchmen miniseries serves as a sequel to the graphic novel aired on HBO, as its harshest critic. Yes, Alan. Right? It's no surprise. It's his creator, Alan Moore, who has disapproved the adaptation and openly disowns it. Oh, okay. This is from the Watchmen movie, though, which other than not having the squid, listen, the bits in it they didn't have black people were freaking awesome, but again, they were dumb, right? Moore went into detail in his interview with GQ about a letter he received from miniseries showrunner David Lindelof. Said, "Dear Mr. Moore, I want the bastards currently destroying Watchmen." It opened. It wasn't the best opener. He thought, "Oh, I'm being quipping, funny." It went on it went on a lot. It seemed to me to be neurotic rambling. Can you at least tell me how to pronounce Ozymandias? Right. The writer went on to admit his response might have been hostile, but it was emphatic that he didn't want to be contacted. I got back with a very abrupt and probably hostile reply, telling them that I thought that Warner Brothers was aware that they nor any employers should contact me again for any reason. Fuck off, he said. He would reiterate his request while he was also calling the show embarrassing. I explained that I disowned the work in question. It was partly because the film industry and the comics industry seemed to have created things that had nothing to do with my work, but which would be associated with me in the public mind. Fair enough. I said, look, this is embarrassing to me. More will continue. I don't want anything to do with your show. Please don't bother me again. Lindelof Watchmen went on to be a hit with the critics at the end of it. Yeah, I understand, because it was all about saying sorry to black people. Where the star Regina King won big. She was awful. But Moore didn't see the appeal. When I saw the television industry awarded the Watchmen television show, I had apparently won. I thought, oh God, perhaps a large chunk of public, this is what they think Watchmen was, he pondered. I'm so sorry, Alan. I'm so sorry. They think it was a dark, gritty, dystopian superhero franchise that was something to do with supermassism. Okay, maybe. He continued, Watchmen was nearly 40 years ago, was a relatively simple in comparison to my later work. What are the chances they broadly understood anything since? This trend makes me feel less fond of those works. They mean a bit less to my heart. I'm so sorry to hear that. It was such a wonderful piece of work, right? I mean, I know you hate it. I know you grow beyond it, Alan, but it was such a wonderful piece of work. As such, Watchmen, Adam has never seen Watchmen or the Zack Snyder's adaptation of the graphic novel. Likewise, he is notoriously adamant about not watching any adaptations of his tales. Don't blame you. I'll be the last person who want to sit for an adaptation of my work. From what I've heard of them, it'll be enormously punishing. It'll be torturous for no very good reason. Oh, you poor guy. Yeah, Watchmen was trash, right? The Watchmen TV show was indeed trash. That's fair enough. What else we got going on here? Mark Brooks, Robert, to stop harassing Comicsgate people. Oh, She-Hulk. This is just embarrassing. I've covered She-Hulk, right? I've covered it. Yeah, I think I'm going to wrap up a little bit early tonight. I'm running out of steam, right? I'm running out of steam. A lot going on. So anyway, I'm going to be back. I don't know. I really want to get to this article, though, right? But I'm kind of tired right now. Maybe here. Let me show the article I want to get to. Where is it? Maybe I'll do an extra stream on. See if there's anything new here. Maybe I'll do an extra stream on Sunday. Right? Maybe I'll do a Sunday afternoon stream. So this is what I want to do. Doctor Who's 8 best Jodie Whittaker episodes. Maybe I'll do a shorter stream on Sunday afternoon doing that. That and just that. PD Richards here. How you doing, PD? Thank you for joining us. Yeah, I think Sunday afternoon I'll do you and me both, boss. I don't know, what was I saying? Maybe I'll do a stream on Sunday afternoon, like a kind of warm up and a moose bouche for the awfulness that will be the power of the Doctor. Oh God, I'm really not looking forward to it. But yeah, I think that might indeed be a plan. Then, oh man, I got so much agita, right? So I've got to stay up late, right? It ends at 9 in the UK, which is 11. So I'm going to be starting at 11:30, right? My time. So I'll go an hour, maybe a little bit longer. But then next day, I got to then go and do all the screen grabs, right? They found 8. No, they were lying about all of them. Get all the screen grabs and do an in-depth review, which I put out as a video. But then I have to go out that night to a wedding. Oh, Kevin, help me. I hate going to weddings. They're always awful, right? They're always awful. I will persevere, right? And then Tuesday, I guess it'll be a live stream again, right? So let's just go over once again what we got coming up, which is, I think, reasonably good content. Doink. Saturday night was towards the night before Jodie. In-depth interview in Doctor Who magazine. Tomorrow we have Bracing for Impact. We also have Westworld season 2 re-review. Freaking love it. It's not woke, right? I'm amazed it's not woke. Doctor of War, well, it kind of ran off the rails. That's all the other stuff. I guess I'm not doing House of the Dragon tonight. No. Maybe I'll do House of the Dragon and that article, right? Super duper promise. Probably not. We'll find out. Fine. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to hit the end broadcast button. I'm going to hit it again.